Everybody, how many of you have been very strange today? How much of that is your awareness of the future? And what is possible now that is truly never, and when I say never, I mean never been possible before? Oh, thank you for the hearts. It's wonderful. You know, when you're talking to a lot of people, it's like receiving feedback is always really helpful because the there you go. See, you guys are so good. If you're not watching the Zoom, you should be. It's so good. I hope they'll show up when we do the recordings on YouTube and stuff. Um, Such an amazing gift to because there's an interesting thing when we perceive large groups of people because we tend to have a particular way of doing that. I'm going to talk about that today and do my best to give you as much as I can in this time that we are together today, and then we're going to expand dynamically in the next 11 days together. And and there are so many things that we've gotten to recently in Access that are game changers in how your life shows up. And we were talking about, I named this Restoring Hope because one of the things I realized a lot of people in the last few years have it's like this world around us has done everything it can to get you to try to give up the sense of hopefulness that you have that we can create a different future. And that's actually what I'm talking about because there's probably a lot of kinds of hope, but let's talk about, I guess, two. One of which is, gee, I hope things will be better, but they probably won't be, which is where most of the world has been living. And then there's the hope that cannot be denied that is you as a being, that is innate and inherent to you. And that's the hope that I'm talking about. And, I thought about renaming it and calling it Restoring Choice, Restoring Happiness, Restoring Possibilities. So we're going to do all those things. We have 11 days. We can change our worlds in 11 days together. And so what else is possible that how many possibilities have you given up on that if you didn't give up on them would change your life for the greater? I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be using the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement quite a bit. And I'm going to probably be saying a lot of things you think you don't understand. Just listen until you get it because the energy of it is there. And you may not think you understand the words, but when you get the energy, the words are far less relevant because energy tends to try to solidify things into certain structures, and energy is the fullness around that structure. So, it's also interesting because a lot of people are like, I'm going to get on here and solve my personal problem. And at a certain point, you start to realize that looking through that tiny lens has kept your life smaller than it has to be. And recognizing that might be something you want to change, but that's not the source of the unhappiness. The source of the unhappiness is us making that the source for happiness. What? So all the little problems that you've been focusing on, thinking those need to change before you can ever be happy, but it causes you to look through such a tiny lens to try to understand the tiny thing and why the tiny thing is going on. Because if you don't understand why the tiny thing is going on, you can't get to the big things and all the lies you bought creating all of that. Will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Times a gazillion, right? Wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. So I'm going to do something called ESB/SOP, Energetic Synthesis of Being and Symphony of Possibilities, which is an energetic universe I tapped into 24 years ago. And I was a chiropractor. I met Gary Douglas, the founder of Access. He was in my office for a session, and he had heard about me from his daughter, and He said, look, ask my body what it wants, follow the energy, you will know what to do. He was the first person in my life who ever said to me, you know. And there was such an enthusiasm that came with that, in a sense of, oh my God, it's possible. And I just let go. I just like, I don't even know what I did. I didn't chiropract. I just bead with this man. And there was such a beautiful space that was there, beautiful energy that got created. And I realized that I could be this with other people and I would start to sense their worlds transforming. Well, that was in person. And then I realized it also worked online. And so part of today is going to be an ESP session also. Also, I tend to be rather autistic, so looking directly into the camera isn't something I do very often. I tend to look there and there and there and there and there. So if you're waiting for my deep penetrating gaze, good luck. Um, but you need to look at me to deliver the energy. Maybe, maybe not. What you're going to realize is anytime you have a fixed point of view, you're limiting everything else that could come into your world. And one of the things we do with Access Consciousness is use this clearing statement and questions to start undoing the to start undoing the fixed points of view that you have in any way. Anytime you're willing to go to question, you start to open up other doors of possibility. Like, what else is possible? How does it get any better than this? What can I choose that I never imagined? Is this my future showing up in a way I've never imagined? What's right about this I'm not getting? What's right about me I'm not getting? How much fun can I have? Is the sound okay, by the way? We doing okay on sound? Okay, cool. Did you hear the bird? I hope it lets the birds in because, oh my goodness, the birds here are amazing. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna just do something to try to make sure we have good sound. Okay, not happening. Oh well, hopefully the sound works. Okay, so very clear. Okay, awesome. Yeah, it is beautiful. We're at El Lugar, the resort we are building in Costa Rica. The resort that's actually open, even though we're still building. Okay, so let me be with you for a few moments. Just maybe close your eyes. We tend to sometimes allow ourselves to receive on a different level when we close our eyes. Yeah, you might be getting a little more relaxed. And by the way, whatever we're going to do today and over the next 11 days, isn't at all like what you think it's going to be. It's something different, which is why it works. Greatest source of giving up hope is trying to put your hopes into the hands of this reality. This reality is about judgment and right and wrong and good and bad and judgment and right and wrong and good and bad. I love it. Even the bears are getting in on it. Here you go, kids. Consider this your invitation to the beginning of a world of possibilities for you. Even if you don't join us for the next 11 days. Oh, there you go. Oof, there it is. Not sure what the it is, but there it is. Mm-mm. What if you weren't alone anymore? You are so welcome. Like it, I'll ask to have this energy always. Ask to have this and more, please. Everything I'm doing here, I'm hoping is a beginning for something greater. So that this can be received and acknowledged gratefully. And then what else is possible? We've never imagined. Do you notice though, something's there? Like it's happening? Yay. By the way, can we just send the translators a A lot of gratitude for being present with this while receiving it, while putting words and other languages to it. You guys are phenomenal, and I thank you so much. Oh, yep. What if you don't have to be alone anymore? Oh, man. And just notice around you that world that is all about judgment and rightness, which then makes you have a sense of wrongness. And if you're getting pains, just be with it. Don't even try to change it. Just say, thank you, body. Thank you for the awareness. Because when your head and neck aches when I'm doing this, oh goodness, oof. See, everything from my point of view is energetic. And I've learned that if I address the energy, we can create miracles because you are an energetic being. You're not a thinking being. You're not a structured being. You're an energetic being. And so when you have neck pain, it's like, who or what is the pain in the neck that you're getting to become aware of? Because all of these elements of everything you'd like to change, it's kind of like an alcoholic. Sorry, you're you're like a suffering aholic. But an alcoholic has to acknowledge they're an alcoholic before they can change being an alcoholic. And then it's an interesting journey, right? Well, what if you've been a this reality aholic? And what if that's where the hope went? What if it's not your lack of hope? What if it's that you've been somehow believing that this reality will give it to you? But what if it's not this reality's fault? It's doing its thing. Its job is to control you from ever being a miracle. And what if you have been choosing to be part of being controlled to never be a miracle? And what if you don't have to control you to not be a miracle anymore? And what if your body's showing you you're a miracle, beautiful you? Controlaholic, thinkaholic, this realityaholic. Guess what, beautiful you? All of it is changeable, quicker than you could ever imagine. Literally, quicker than you could ever imagine. And that is the part for me where I wanted to create this for you and for our world. So everything, you and your personalities and your prismatic prisons of judgment have decided are necessary to change what you need to change, to have what you would like to have, that are not what needs to be changed. So you've been putting your energy, it's not that you're not capable, it's you've been putting your energy in a direction that doesn't work, but that's what billions of people have been doing. You're here, you have a different choice. Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and create it all, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. What have you decided? Number one, what have you decided is your primary problem and all of the sets of your primary problems that you cannot solve that keep you in a life of suffering? Everything that is times a godzillion, where you destroy and create it all, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. Oh, beautiful you. Within the energy of that question is also the doorway out. What if you don't have to suffer anymore? What if all suffering is self-inflicted by our choice? Everything that is times a godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. So what have you decided are the problems you personally need to solve right now to go beyond suffering, to end your suffering? And what have you decided are the problems that your only choice is to fight against in order to solve and change them? Everything that is times a godzillion, or you destroy and uncreate it all, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, povads, and beyond. Okay, so undo, well, yeah, solveaholic, exactly. Yeah. Hiding within this is a greatness of you that you may not yet have been willing to choose. By the way, somebody said the Kajabi link didn't work. That was a while ago, but I forgot. I'm hoping it does. Yep, it's like the miracle of choosing different is here now without the blah blah, why I wouldn't or couldn't. It's also here without the having to do it in a right or particular way. So will you allow me and the universe to contribute to you, please? Thank you. Oof. Do you realize how few sources of contribution we believe there are? Therefore, how few sources of contribution show up for us, because our point of view creates our reality. And yet, like the woodpecker behind me is a contribution. All of these trees, all of the plants, the earth underneath this building, the building itself, my compute, all of it is a contribution, if I'll allow it to be. So what are the contributions that you couldn't even fathom could contribute, that if you allowed yourself to see everything as a contribution, would change the entire flavor of your world? Everything that is and doesn't allow it times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyond. See, the problem, any problem is not you, the being, ever. It's the lies that you have bought. You can go to Access Consciousness, www.accessconsciousness.com/restoring hope. You can get the translation plus links to join the rest. Awesome. Thank you. How do you think we can help the poorest billion people? By being you and not aligning and agreeing, nor resisting and reacting, and acknowledging their choice was made for some reason. It's not streaming to the watch page. Oops. Forget what I said. Isn't it great when you have thousands of humanoids on something, the technical challenges to the world that come up? And people out there like, I know I need this, but I can't see it. My link don't work. I know it's so good. Oh, technology, technology. Try YouTube. Good idea. There you go, beautiful you. Right there you go. Sometimes all you need is a moment of acknowledgement, being the space of the beauty of you. I can't find my screen. I can't help you with that. Sorry, that's beyond my ability. Even as a tech intern, it's beyond my ability. Oh, what about if you had, let's say, 20% more joy from now on. Now it works. And the homepage. Boom. What if you had 20% more joy? Just 20%. 50%. No, you can't. It's too much. Just kidding. Okay. 100%. For some people, like, I'd like 100% more, which will bring me to 2%. Thank you. Just kidding. Oh, madness. Yay. Yeah, that. Okay, so I'm going to keep this going, and how about 100,000%? Huh? Can I paint you blue like an avatar? Um, so I'm going to keep this. Oh, no, I'm going to shut up for a minute. Oh, ooh, that's some good shit right there. I gotta say. Boy, and the volume increase a bit. I wonder if somebody can increase my volume. I'm gonna try the whole microphone thingy. See if that. You know, I have a mic. It has a program. The program has disappeared. Oops, not my fault. I'm gonna try to install it while we're on the call because I'm a multitasking humanoid of magnitude. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm gonna try to do. See if I can make my sound. One more time. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're gonna see how we go. Oh, my sound is great. Okay, cool. Turn your volume up. Oh, wow. That's so interesting because so many of you out there who thought you had to think your way through everything might be beginning to realize that you actually don't. Like that the how do I even put it? It's like what if the basis of reality is great? Okay, I'm back. See, I was trying to make my sound better. What if the basis of reality as you have bought it and it's been sold to you is not true anymore? Okay, cool. There you go. Wow. Would you be willing to let go of all of the lies that you have been buying and trying to buy? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. Thank you. 16 years of school is only part of the basis. It's from the time you were conceived. So you found a long time ago that the womb is not what you thought it was. And okay, so let me keep this going. Now I'm going to talk about something. Um, One question I would like to present to you is, what are the infinite possibilities for this? And also, Universe, show me something beautiful and miraculous today. And universe, show me miracles. Every time I've ever asked, I've been shown. And for me too, as a facilitator, tapping into everybody's world and all their different points of view and all of their desires, all of their needs, all of their everything that's like all the stuff that everybody brings was so interesting for the last few hours. And what I finally realized was I'm like, wow, you know what? I care so much about every single one of you. And some of you might be like, but you've never met me. It's like, that doesn't affect my caring for you. And how much do you care? And how much do you almost not even want to acknowledge it because it's been twisted into so many things where you feel like because you care so much, you're responsible for changing everything that goes on for everyone. And then how much do you try to eliminate your caring so you're not the effect because you try to do what you can to change people, which usually means taking on all the structures of their suffering and all of them making that real. And now you feel like you've got all their structures of suffering and reality, and they haven't changed theirs. They're still doing it. And now you try to do it with more people, and now you feel totally overwhelmed. But its basis was in something so beautiful, which is your caring. It's one of the most twisted things in this world. And how much have you bent, fold, stapled, twisted, and mutilated you based on a level of caring that you have, that the only solution seems to try to cut off your caring and go, well, then fuck them, let them do what they want. But that's not actually your caring. What if true caring is total allowance? What if true caring is I care so much for you that if right now what you need to do is choose something painful, if right now what you need to do is choose to suffer to validate your point of view of reality, I still care. And I can be all of me. And I am so here for you if you desire something, but I'm not going to judge you or me if you don't desire anything different. And I want to be such a space of caring that I actually care for me too. And realize that caring for me is not changing you. Caring for me is being an allowance, which is where everything you choose is an interesting point of view. So from total caring, I'm going to stop trying to change you now. In fact, from total caring, I'm going to stop trying to change everybody who hasn't asked specifically for my assistance. I'm going to stop trying to change everybody who isn't actually receiving the contribution that I can give. Everything that is, times a godzillion, right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyond. Whatever you choose, I'm here for you. Dude. And also, can we look at it for a moment? Wouldn't it have been beautiful and phenomenal if somebody, anybody, maybe a lot of somebodies would have been there like that for us? Well, if you didn't have it, I'm sorry, but I want to say to you, whatever you choose, I'll be here for you. And I don't say that lightly. You don't have to choose anything. Like, oh, you don't have to choose the next 11 days. Even though it is only $22, I tried to make the bar really low and make it easy for you. But really, if you don't, like, you do you, boo, you know. And what if you acknowledge in that? Because what we do is we do this thing with other people and we're doing the same thing with ourselves and we never recognize it. So we look outside and we're like, how dare you not choose this? But we're doing the same thing ourselves. And so what we do is we look at people and we're like, well, you need to choose something different. I care about you so much and I'll suffer if you don't choose something different. But what if we acknowledge that they know? What if they know? What if they actually know? And what if they know what to choose? What if they know when to choose it? Because look at this for a moment. How many times, how much suffering have you had to go through to get to certain spaces of awareness beyond the suffering. And if somebody had tried to say, hey, this is possible, and tried to get you to choose it, would you have said, oh, thank you? Or would you have gone, fuck you, stop judging me? Everything that is, times a godzillion. We destroy and create all that place. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyond. Oh, the sun is obviously shining on my face. Um, wow. So, oof, goodness, there's a thing going on. Whoa, well, whatever that is, let whatever that is in, please, because whatever that is seems to be pretty big. Now, here's the interesting part also. There's so many interesting parts, but one of them is being an allowance of others. An allowance is where what they choose is truly just an interesting point of view. Being an allowance of others is one of the greatest ways to get to allowance for you. Because one of the reasons you are not an allowance of you, one of the reasons you stay in judgment of you is because of what you've called caring. And we've all been taught that caring is judgment. So how does it work? You see somebody choosing something and you know it's not as great as what they could choose from your point of view. So you go into judgment of them because you care. But for you, it feels like caring because that's what your parents did to you. And now you try to control their choice. And when you can't, then you get really fucked up. But what if you didn't have to anymore? What if you could just care and have the beauty of that? Because what we're missing is the beauty of being alive. And there's so much available now more than ever. Everything that is times a godzillion. I'm going to give you some specific tools to use to get out of the stuck places in just a moment, probably. Everything that is, right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyond. Oh, you are so welcome. Okay, so yeah, like the tree behind me doesn't judge anything. The tree behind me doesn't go, hey, bird, you should be doing this differently. The tree behind me is like, hey, bird, if you do this and it doesn't work, I know you're going to figure out a different way because you're fucking brilliant. And so the tree gets to just be the tree. Yeah, you buy into this reality starting from the womb, but because the womb is basically what shows up as like an implantation station. See, if you could, here's what I'd like to do. Thank you for bringing that up again. The energetics of this call are incredible. Thank you. I'm so glad. I love your shirt. Equally valid comment. Thank you. Figured I would, bring the sun to today's conversation. So here's what I'd like y'all to do for just a moment. And I'm going to keep BSBSOPing too. Ooh, goodness, this thing just keeps going and going. Get the sense of the being you were before coming into this body. Before coming into the body this lifetime. Is that being fit into reality or is that being bigger than reality? So here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to, as the being you are now, I would like you to acknowledge that being and have a moment of communing with it. And what I'd like you to do is, with all the awareness you have and everything you've seen over this lifetime, and everything you made real, and all this stuff, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to ask that being its awareness. You don't have to feel it, just perceive it. And ask that being to come and show you the space of your being for a moment. And simultaneously, I'd like you to show it all of the things that you have made real, and ask it what it knows about the nature of reality itself. Bit of an energetic journey, and if you feel like you're getting lost, don't worry about it. No such thing as being lost. It's just not as cognitive as you think it should be sometimes. Yeah, that might be why your body seems tight, but what if you could be... Oh, wait a minute. If that is your being, then that's your being. What does that being know about what's possible that you have not ever fathomed could exist, that you as a being know? So, if you, the being you are right now, hang out with that being right before it comes into a body and be with it, but as it goes to try to undergo a transformation, see, the difficulty is you go from a whoo to this little stuck in chrysalis where all of this shit is real and you never become the butterfly. But you think before you're coming in, you're like, I'm going to change the world this lifetime. My parents will be happy. I will be happy. I will be wealthy. I will have all the things. And then you get here, you're like, I'm old and I still have not had the things. Can I have some of the things, please? How do I get the things? Oh my God, I'm going to try to do this reality better and I'll get the things. No, I will give you a solution to that in just a moment. But what I'd like you to do is this energetic exercise for a moment while we're ESBSOPing here. So what I'd like you to do is be with that being and notice as whatever starts to occur in the moment of preconception to conception, like that nanosecond there. And this time go, no. See, time isn't real. We can change anything, past, present, or future. Just go, no. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. Now notice if that being tries to occupy the body and womb, it doesn't fit into any of the electromagnetics. But what if you could pretend to through that 9 months, but during that 9 months, rather than becoming electromagnetic in nature as though it's true, what if you could be in there pretending to, but not actually do it? See, the lie is that if your being ever showed up here, it would explode everything and everyone. And all the implants and explants creating that, right and wrong, good and bad, bod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. That's that clearing statement thing if you don't know. By the way, if you've never heard of me or Access and you're here, good on you. Thanks for being here. And if you're like, what the fuck? Oh my God, yes, come play. And if you're like, what the fuck? Oh my God, no, then don't come, don't play. Not necessarily in that order. Anyway, I digress. So just go, no, this shit is not happening. Okay. And see as you, with what you know now and everything that's occurred, and can be with that being that knows, perceives, receives, can be so big, and be like, hey, I don't quite know how we're going to do this. This has never been done before, but we're going to do this. See, it's changing what has occurred. And you may be like, I need to change it all now. Well, let's change as much as you're willing to change right now. It's changing what's occurred using you, the being, to create a different possibility for you, the being, to actually be the being that you are, not simply a thinking, feeling, emoting, judging function of reality. Everything that is times a godzillion. Will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, bot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, poveds, and beyond. So you and your being, you as your, this is actually you we're talking to, that's you, that's seems separate from you, that's so big and beautiful and amazing. That's you. Just a reminder. You're welcome. So you are with you, and together in each moment, you notice there's an onslaught of energetic stuff, hormonal stuff, to try to create a basis of reality that makes you believe in judgment and separation, and that you're not oneness with everything, and that you being too much is wrong. And it sets the groundwork for the future where you're going to try to heal the world by taking on people's judgments and suffering and points of view, where you're going to try to function from personalities instead of being, where you're going to try to believe in this reality and believe that the mental construct of what is actually is valuable. You're going to try to believe that science is going to figure it out one day, except people who do science also have minds that were forged in this particular thing. So people's, what they're capable of perceiving through the mind, like infiniteness, they're not capable of perceiving it, so they can't even ask a question that would allow them to get there. So walk through with you as a being as you go through the 9 months of conception to birth, and allow your being to not be diminished. Now, this can seem really fucking cheesy to some of you, but that's okay. I really was not planning on doing that. I've never done this before. I also wasn't planning on doing this, just so you know. But what I do is I've learned to trust that when I get on a call and something shows up and it has this much of a pull based on everything else that we've opened up, I just go there. And what I see with that is fucking miracles and universes opening up in ways I can't even fathom. So I like it. We are restoring hope from the beginning. Boom, shakalaka. So, wow, blood pressure and pulse is awesome. Wow, how many of the things that you have were instituted way back then and nobody's ever been able to talk to you about it? So one of the things I love about Access is we will point to things that you don't even expect in a moment you don't even expect, and it's like, oh, that's what it was, and it changes. Backache gone. Oh man, so cool. Thank you. I can't tell you, it's so much fun. It's so good. And somebody be like, I'm still a pain in the neck. I know. Wow, so cool. You too. Shifting the back stuff. So now for me, over here is where the past is. So because I'm kind of walking through this with you, I'm like, shit, I might as well get some benefit from having all of your brilliance, because the way I'm knowing what to talk about is I'm pulling it out of your heads. I know that sounds weird, but oh well, I'm weird. So are you. We have a lot more fun when we're weird, by the way. Just saying, the original meaning of weird was of spirit, fate, or destiny. So when people say you're weird, go, thank you very much. They're like, it wasn't a compliment. You're like, well, you don't know what it means. So fuck you. Anyway, I digress. So if you'll notice, like when I go and check in on this for all of us, it's like we're going through this, whether we even know it or not. And it's like you being there with you and allowing your being to have the permission to be. And as you go through, it's like we've been through, going through a few months so far, and your being is like, I'm still here, nanny, 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 I'm still here. Oh, can't focus. You don't need to focus. Okay, I'm frozen. Isn't that fun? Dear Lord. Have you seen that movie Frozen? Oh, just kidding. Hold on a moment. I'll turn that off. Turn it on. See if it works. Doesn't work. So much fun. Hold a moment. Go back to the FaceTime camera. Go back to the other camera that should look better. Oh, hey, I'm moving again. Cool. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, you have to try to freeze your beans. Totally. Okay, so this is so cool because you guys, it's so interesting because I know a lot of you haven't done, if you're anything like me, you totally didn't think you got energetic stuff and were invalidated for it. And a lot of you haven't necessarily done a lot of access or energetic stuff or whatever. And here you are, you're like, okay, I'll have it. Thank you. It's like we're so much more brilliant than we know. So as we've done this whole session together, and and then this thing opens up about the being, and we're going through, like 4 or 5 months, let's say. Ah, yes. And continuing, wow, what if we truly can change the basis of what has made us believe in judgment and limitation and made us believe somehow in the destruction of our being and the lack of joy. And what if, once again, changing all of the things we can change doesn't occur in any way that we thought it would? Wow. Okay, we're still going, kids. Oof. Yay. So glad people are feeling better. Having crazy visions. Yeah. Everything is cool. Boom. So, oh, this is day one. Boom. Wow. 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 Thank you all for the feedback, by the way. Because we're still okay. Oh, thank you. Wow. Yep, we have 10 more days. Oh, baby, there's okay. So as we're going through this, there's a sense of almost getting to whatever we'd call birth. Everything that brings up, right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyond. Okay, so one of the things I want to give you as a oh goodness. That's a thing, people. Anybody else feeling a little spicy? Can we thank the translators again? Thank you, beautiful people. You guys rock. Whoa. Okay, so okay, I want to give you a couple of tools to use. Because one of the things that what you went through before womb-wise, womb-wise, related to the womb, 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 that place. The enlarged uterus that you called home for the first 9 months. Pock and bun, pock and bun, pock and bun. Okay. That's so cool. More than spacey, smiling, melting. Yay. Oh, that's so cool. That's so great. Smiley face and heart. Yay. Okay. Um, wow. Okay, wow. So, a couple of things. One of the things, and I hate to even say it right now because like to not in any way diminish the space. So let's keep being the space that is continuing to open, by the way. And this like a rebirthing on a global scale. So funny. I did rebirthing, like where you like for an hour, and man, I got some awesome experiences out of it, but it never really changed my life. I felt happy while I was doing it though. Anyway, this seems to be actually hopefully doing something that hopefully will create a new spacious basis. So Everything that brought up, Puck and Pod. So even saying a word like rebirthing or any word, it'll have a vibration. And one of the things that we've done is we've created these things called personalities. And you can ask for anything that's not light, personality or being. And if it's not light, it's personality. And all you got to do is go pock and pod all the personalities. Okay? Pock and pod all the personalities. And then you'll have times, yeah, reconceiving. I like that. Thank you. Reconceiving. Um, um, Pock and pot all the personalities. And sometimes you go as this personality being, and you get being and go, everywhere I've misidentified and misapplied this as my being. Because what a personality is something you misidentified and misapplied as you that functions from judgment and functions from trying to find its place in this reality and structuring itself into this reality. And so your personalities, we've been pock and potting these for the last 3 months. And if you haven't been part of that, that's why I want to give you this info, because I know I won't see all of you for the next 10 days, but I'm sure we're going to be addressing it over the next 10 days. Quite a bit. We'll see. Who knows? I actually have no idea if we're going to address it ever again. Who knows? But it's such an amazing gift because you'll be in the presence of like wanting to get angsty, which is one of our biggest personalities. We go into angst and then we look for the solution in this reality, or we look for the problem and we look for the problem and then we look for the judgment and we look for the structure to solve the problem. And it's just a shit show, which is why going beyond the shit show of this reality was part of the title. And it never leads to lightness. Personalities are always lying to you. And you've decided they are you. But this whole thing that occurred in that womb thing was a huge part of what created that fertile ground for that, the electromagnetics of that, to become something that you would make more real than the space of your being. Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and create it all, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. Yeah, by the way, and feel free to continue to do this very thing that we've done with the womb. You might want to do it if you listen to this again because the space and contribution of all of us being there, or you might notice that you can just keep it going. And you might want to go through, okay, birth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, however. Okay, sorry, my ADHD. So you might want to keep this energetic thing going. I want you to have the tool of personalities or being, and then also you want to recognize there's these things called prismatic prisms of judgment that are designed to get you into twisted judgment where you're in a prison. And the way it works is any time you're judging anyone or anything, you are putting yourself in a prison. How do you change it? Go all the personalities and all the prismatic prisons of judgment, destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. Like even after this call, because what'll happen is you have a sense of space, but that sense of space doesn't have a linear connection to people and things. And so you bought the lie, many lies, and implanted, explanted points of view that you need to maintain this linear connection, this positive and negative linear connection with people and things in order to be here, in order to influence things, in order to change things, in order to have the caring, in order for them to receive, in order for you to change, in order for it to be different. You don't have to. Have you ever had a moment in your life where you were just a different space and it changed everything? That is just one of the amazing gifts of you. The space that you are, that by its very nature changes structures and melts them. See, the molecules are held in place because we align and agree with them being held in place. If you be a space of possibilities, this positive attracted to negative, creating matter, doesn't have to matter and doesn't have to be matter anymore. Well, that was fucking that, dude. That was like the best ever so far, and I probably froze again. No, am I? Oh my god, I got to move. I got fireworks, and I got to move too. People, miracle. That right there is an evidence of a miracle, right there. Woo! So now's the space, beautiful you. This thing will keep going if you just tap in and let it keep going. Also, when you listen again, you're going to get the energetics of this on a whole different level. Now is our time and space to not be limited, but to be the miracles we've always wanted to be and never been given permission and never given ourselves permission to be. And I don't say that lightly, and I don't say it with significance. I say it as an acknowledgement of your very being. Now is the space, my beautiful friends. Let's put the locks and keys together for everything we are locks and keys for, and ask for the space of limitless living, limitless cash flow, limitless embodiment and universal embodiment to be. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyond. Hey, beautiful people. Thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to our adventures over the next 10 days together. What else is truly friggin' possible? You are a miracle, and I'm grateful to know you. And the greatest gift I could receive is you starting to know that you are a miracle too, and function as that in your world and how you create your life. Mwah. Thank you. Yay!